Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is this, episode 13? Yeah, 13 of the Dead Realms campaign. I am your humble DM, Tyler, and tonight we have a peculiar situation. If you didn't see last week's episode, the party split at the end of the session, splitting into three groups. So, and before the stream, we rolled to determine which group would go first. So we'll start with the top of the order. So if you would like to introduce yourself to kind of have the audience know the order of appearance, as I like to call it. So we'll start with the first group.
Would that be me?
Yep.
Hi, I'm playing Koto Shoru. He is a Kensei monk human. And he's been with this group for maybe an hour and a half, and he's very confused.
Best hour and a half of your life.
No.
All right, and then we got group number 2 in order of appearance.
I am playing Blue, the Dragonborn cleric monk, and I am also infected.
All right, and then our final group of the evening. One of you three can start. So.
Hi, I'm Axius. I am serious. I'm playing Axius, Tiefling Barbarian, and that's all I'll say for now.
All right. So it's between you two, so you two decide. Will I get my music bot ready?
All right.
Bob playing Ichabod. Half-elf fighter / rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Mike playing Rico Tenpenny, artillerist and world's worst cleric.
All right. So just to kind of help the audience, they've all leveled up because they helped evacuated the town. They could have leveled up more, but unfortunately they were unsuccessful. But the party split into 3, so how we're going to organize it for tonight's session is that each group, which would be Justin playing Koto, with Justin playing Koto will start first, followed by Blue, and hit Anea and Amryn, and then follow that we have the rest of the party. So this will be split into 3 sections for 20 minutes apiece. So at the top of every round, the rotation will switch. Could be more, could be less, depending on situation. But nonetheless, let's start this episode of the Dead Realms. As I play music. Cool. Alright, just make some things for the bot. Okay. So, you guys regrouped after the incident in the forest. Rico, through your efforts, you helped Amryn get freed, but unleashed the horde on the pond town. After avoiding a shambler, you guys then head back to town in preparations for the upcoming assault. You guys planned your tactics with the pieces given on the board, for lack of a better term. And you guys did a good effort at start, but then things started to roll downhill when Black showed up. Things happened. Rico and Blue got bitten. Blue getting bitten by 2 hordes worth of zombies. And then at the end, the party split into 3 separate groups, with a downed Axius being carried out by Ichabod and Rico. We have Blue basically dragging himself to the survivors of the town of Parnast, and Koto, along with Beatrice, retreating into let me just get the NPC's name. Orion the Old's house, which at the outside was small, but when appearing inside Koto, it's like a massive library of sorts. And the last thing we left off in your case is that he had just made the door behind you disappeared. And when you ask a question of like, what the hell is going on, he then says that the skulls are involved. And he kind of continues on saying, well, when judging from what I've seen, unless my eyesight fools me, you can see like he's adjusting his glasses. And this is a very old wizard. Like he's depending on his quarterstaff as a walking stick at this point. But he doesn't seem to take no bullshit. as he continues. Seems like those damn skulls of necromancy are out and about again. How did you two get up into all this? As he looks at both you and Beatrice.
I stumbled into town looking for food or work, and it has been a shitstorm since then. Excuse me, sir. Do you have healing or health potion?
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm still recovering from this one catching me on fire. I'm pointing right at Beatrice.
She kind of like smirks at you for me. She's like, see, healing potions. He's digging through his roll. He pulls out like a bunch of weird stuff. He pulls out like a weird hand. He throws that away. Then he pulls out like a chicken. And then finally, as my mic messes up, he then pulls out, here it is. And he tosses you like a slightly tall healing potion. And you have a greater potion of healing just given to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to walk off somewhere away from these two wizards because I don't trust wizards at all because they catch me on fire for no reason. I'm going to dress my wounds with the healing potion and try to heal my burns.
All right, so you have a greater potion of healing, which I believe is 44 plus 4. Let me just double check here. Is the music lagging for you guys or not really?
Not that I can tell.
Yeah, okay. 4d4 plus 4. So roll 4d4 plus 4, and that's how much hit points you will regain. So you regain 15 hit points. As you drink up, your wounds start to heal, you feel a little bit better. And you said you were just going to chill for a bit?
I'm just going to walk The door is missing. I don't know where the rest of the people are. I'm going to walk away from them, but keep them within range of my bow.
Okay, you do so.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm just going to watch them interact and wait patiently, basically seeing what's going on.
All right. So they talk for about an hour. Beatrice is basically catching up Orion on what the hell's going on, and Orion's like being stubborn, just being straight. And so this is technically considered a short rest. So if you want to do short rest stuff, you can. But otherwise, would you like to do anything within this hour of talking, or just kind of like watch this interaction?
No, I'm going to take that short rest.
All right. So roll your hit die. While you roll your hit die, Orion comes up to you and says,
I don't need to roll a hit die. I'm just trying to get my key back.
Yeah, that's fine. As you meditate. You meditate, and as you finish your meditation, Orion, the old wizard, like, cane using as crutch, comes here and says, well, it seems like you seem to be out of the room. That Beatrice woman, I can already tell us that's not even her real name, but I don't give a shit. Now, what is your name? Quite again, I'm sorry, my memory doesn't serve me correctly.
Koto Shoshu.
I see that your common is not very up to par when it comes to it. Is there any other language you prefer, or do you prefer to speak common?
I switch to Elven. I'm more used to using Elvish than common.
All right. He then says in Elvish, "Oh well, that's quite fine. Elvish seems to sound a bit more nicer anyway. So come with me." And he kind of like leads you to this small room, which clearly looks like a small study room. He says, "Now, clearly, judge from what Beatrice woman has told me, you don't quite know what's going on, do you?"
No.
Well, you've seen these skull, right? And he casts prestidigitation to cast like a small illusion of like the red skull that you saw earlier. You've seen these kind of shit, right?
Yes.
All right. I think it's best if you sit down. And then he waves his hand, and you see like a bunch of furniture move around. He's like, "What do you prefer to sit on? Just mats, chair, or?"
I prefer to know where the rest of the people are and when are we leaving.
All right, fine. And then he just like shoves all the furniture to one side of the damn room. He's like, let me explain. So, why aren't there more people? To be honest, I'm quite a loner myself, and I don't quite give a shit what the fuck goes on out there. Anyways, when I heard all that racket and then the dragon roar, I was curious, so I popped out and I saw a shit show. And then I yelled out to see if anyone needed help. And clearly you two showed and no one else did. So that's why there's no one else here. So that answers one question. Now, you probably want to know what the fuck these skulls are. He's saying to you in like Elvish, which for the audience basically sounds like Arabic. So he says, so you want to know what the fuck these things are, right? Because these could cause a great problem.
I don't really care.
You don't care, huh? All right,
No.
fine. Then you probably don't care of why all the elves in the high forest that you grew up with are all dead now. Quite frankly, you don't give a shit about that, do you?
No.
All right, then. In that case, you could stay here for a bit. I want you the fuck out of my house.
I want the fuck out of your house as soon as I can.
All
Unless
right,
you're
fine.
going to pay me.
Hmm.
The other guys might be a motley crew, but at least they pay me.
What were they paying you with? Gold is useless.
They gave me the short bow and as many arrows as I can carry.
He looks at your equipment. He's like, that's not quite bad, actually. Does have an iron eyes mark, so it's not shit. But what if I told you that in exchange for a small amount of supplies, and would you be interested? Oh, damn, my old brain doesn't think much. You can tell like he's quite like half tired, and because he doesn't quite care of like what's clearly you don't give a shit. So he's kind of giving you that feedback in regards. So he's like, all right, so what if I told you that there's a chance for this whole plague to stop? And since the plague would stop, you would be most found in work. And say you help with said plague, could get more stuff, more money in future. Gold would actually be worth something.
Would you be paying me to get rid of this plague?
I said there would be a chance. I would give you stuff, of course, to help you with your journey. But it does involve the people that you keep a company as of late.
As long as someone's paying me, I will assist.
He pulls out from his cloak 2 big sacks of gold. He says, this is about 5,000 gold pieces. You get half now. The other half you'll get upon completion. If you're interested, of course.
Can't really eat that. And I don't know how to make arrows out of gold. And I don't have a backpack to put that in.
He pulls out a book bag from his fucking cloak. And then it says,
Like, literally, I have nothing. You started me off with clothes, dude. I have nothing.
Alright then. He snaps his finger and wardrobe appears. He says, pick whatever the fuck you want. Clothing wise. I don't have armor because I don't need that shit.
I don't need that shit.
Not even clean clothes.
I need clean clothes, but I don't need armor. But yeah, I look through it. I get a change of clothes. Get a backpack. Yep. What else is in there?
He's like, well, what the fuck else you want? You say you want food, right?
Oh, yeah, everyone wants food.
He then snaps his fingers, and then a scroll appears, and then he reads a scroll, and you could tell that he's casting some kind of clerical spell as I roll this d20.
I'm not paying attention. I'm cutting band-aids out of his clothes that I'm not taking.
Sure. As he does that, and as you look back at him, all of a sudden there's like a table for one, and there's like full of food. As he finishes reading the scroll.
What kind of food is it? Anything that I can wrap up and put in the backpack?
There's a few food of that, but there's also food that's like for dining food, like Thanksgiving kind of stuff. But other than that, there is like other food that you can pocket. He's like, come, sit, eat this. Let me explain what you're going to be doing. Do you accept?
Yeah, I'm listening as I'm eating.
All right. He explains that he kind of catches you up to speed on what the fuck these three skulls are and why they're important. He says that these three skulls basically were rumored to be the origins of necromancy magic, and that these three skulls are owned by the three undead kings. One of them being a Sirarak, which he explains is like a very smart lich that travels across dimensions. One belonged to Vecna, which is the red skull. By the way, Sirarak owned a purple skull. The one owned by Vecna was used, and then there was also the green skull, but however, it's just a shadowy silhouette. And he kind of explains, we're trying to find out who the fuck this third king is, but any record of it seems to be lost. He then further explains like what the skulls actually do. The red skull gives huge amount of power to whoever wields it, can shoot energy blasts from it, as you saw. But for undead wise, and this is what the other players don't know, that if one possesses such will, can point it at a corpse and can possibly change it to another form of undead, even a stronger version of undead, if they have the right willpower. So that's what the red skull does. The green skull basically helps the user regenerate like their vitality better, so regenerating health, can cause status effects on individuals, as he's explaining it through like images of like, you know, a Sirarak and Vecna and this silhouette using the skull, quote unquote, like through minor illusions and such, and prestidigitation. And not only does it cause status effects, but for the undead effect, it controls and commands undead with like a few certain words and phrases. Like tell them to go here, tell them to attack this, that kind of deal. Then you get to know what the purple one does. And this is what no information has been gathered. And this is only given to Kodo. He went to the wizard's crib. He says that the purple one is the most interesting one, and that he's kind of jealous that he doesn't have it, because it helps spellcasters. So it, for lack of a better term, it gives disadvantage to any person that has to make a saving throw for a spell effect. So, for instance, a fireball spell to a group of people, that group of people would have disadvantage on the saving throw. That second part being that since they know a lot of knowledge, that they would know exactly what to do in certain situations, so they would have advantages on all saves as long as they're holding it, except for death saving throws. And the third way is to give undead intelligence. Not intelligence as far as like they're fully conscious, but enough intelligence to give them tactics in a mind so they can attack smarter and attack more cleverly. But he says that not a lot of information has been gathered to this and has been kept away because another fucking jealous wizard took it for himself and didn't want to share a secret. And he finishes set stuff while you are eating your meal and packing it, which, by the way, you have 5 rations of good rations. And as you're packing it, he says, and these 3 skulls, when combined, do other such things. It has never happened before, but anyone who holds these 3, unfortunately, will obtain so much power that they can basically do anything. But what rumors have been gathering up before this fucking apocalypse happened is that, well, there's rumors that cultists were arguing, saying that if these 3 skulls were together and someone had some kind of talisman of one of the 3 kings, could possibly bring one of them back. And if that shit happens, that's the end of all of us. Sirarak has many knowledge and has traveled across dimensions. So who knows what he could bring? And Vecna's Vecna. And we don't even know who the 3rd undead king is. Quite frankly, I don't want to deal with that shit. So now that I'm giving you food, clothes, and some gold, you understand what the fuck's going on now? And why it's important?
Yes.
Good. And like I said, you'll get 5,000 gold. You get the 2,500 gold when the job's clear. And he shoves this big sack of gold coins, and he just pockets it like it's nothing. Like if it's like a small handbag. He says, now, you say you wanted to leave right away. I can do that. However, teleportation magic isn't as good. Do you have like a good idea of where you want me to put you?
Do you have any idea where
I
they
don't
might be
fucking know.
going? I look back to what is her name? Bernadette?
Beatrice.
Sure.
Beatrice says, "Well, I'm assuming it's wherever the Black Dragonborn is. But I never met him in my damn life. I could probably tell you where Khan is, the one who holds the purple skull, possibly. But other than that, I do not know where this Black Dragonborn."
I don't give a fuck about them. I'm talking about the people that we were just with. Do you know where they would possibly be going? They sent a bunch of the villagers towards the south.
The south. The wizard speaks in Elvish, of course. He then says, "I could probably put you around the mountain range, possibly. But you have to go and find them yourself. But it looks like you know how to find people."
By chance, do you have a bedroll?
"Yeah, I got a bedroll." He tosses you one. "No, real quick."
Is there
And
anything that you want me to tell these guys when I meet up with them?
He stumbles. He looks. Oh, looks like he's about to fall, but then he kind of uses you as as a brace, and then he kind of whispers in your ears like, "This fucking weird Elvish wizard. Is she with you? Yes or no?"
No.
Okay. She gets up. He gets up and says, "Oh, thank you so much." In common, and then in Elvish, he says, "Well, I could definitely probably put you around the mountain range, but you have to do the finding yourself." Now, I don't know what to deal with her, but I could probably put her away somewhere.
Lock her away somewhere.
Whatever.
Or-
She's not fucking staying here. It's just unless she's
Drop her
getting,
in
you
a-
know what? I don't care. So
Drop her in an active volcano.
maybe. All right. Let me see if I could do this. He switches back to common. He then rubs his hands together, and as he says these arcane words, you see like a small little ball of like a small portal appear in his hands. And as he does it, he's like shifting his hands, and you see the arcane sigils around his wrist. You can tell like he's shaking, but like he's basically creating a portal in his hands. And as it does, he slaps it together. He then throws it on the ground, and then the portal opens up in a circle similar to Doctor Strange. And then you just see like the outskirts of the mountain range in which the general direction of where you sense. He's like, "All right, you go there. You're not gonna follow anything. Trust me.
I mean, I go through.
Just jump."
Yeah, I go through.
But look,
Yeah, I lived
and then
around. I lived around elves like my whole life. I would know magic. It wouldn't be strange or weird to me. I would
Magic
just
is
jump
fucking-
in.
Hey, before he died, he says, "All right, magic is weird, but it's fun too." Later, as you jump, you jump like around the edge of a forest, around the mountain range, and then you see the pole just close up. What do you do?
I would know where I'm at, right?
Yes, you are at the southern part of Parnas. There is a nearby forest a smaller forest, not as big as the high forest, but a smaller forest that shows up right before the mountain range. But you are around that specific area. That being said, what would you like to do?
If I know the area, would I know one of the closer villages that they might be going to?
So, let me just look at my map real quick. 1 second, and then we'll transition to Blue in his group. So Blue, just be ready. Let's see here. 1 second, folks. Here we are. Boom. So, closest town-wise, it would be, as my map takes forever to load. Thank you. All right. So the closest town from Parnas would be that. Right. The closest town to Parnas that would be near the mountain range would be, well, as far as towns, there's no towns per se looking at the map. It's just the forest, which is around the marsh of the Chamber, which you know for a fact is like an area where it has like sulfur pits and what have you, which you know. But other than that, the next town was like way, way down south. But you know that's like the vicinity you're at. You're at the edge of the forest that is around the marsh of the Chamber, and you're around
Knowing
that
the area, where would be? What I'm trying to ask, if there's no town, right? What would be the
hmm
Is there a role that I can do, or some type of? Where
What would
would
you like to
all
try to
those
do? Just
people
to try to
go?
find.
There,
All
I
right,
mean, hundreds of people
make
just
a
left town, right?
All right. So here's what
trying
I'd like
to-
you to do. Trying to find them.
Yeah, I'm trying to
basically.
figure out where would they be going.
All
You
right.
say there's no
First,
towns
make
nearby.
All right. Make a perception check.
Perception or survival?
We'll do both checks. So make a perception check to
Okay.
see if you can find like evidence of like, crowds or what have you.
Roll a nat 20.
Oh yeah, with a nat 20. Yeah. You look around. You spend the next 30 minutes like traveling up northward, and then and you go northward to where you see a bunch of hills, and this is like a hill area before the mountain. And as you do see like a big group of like what seems like to be survivors, which you suspect like further in the distance. You see. This will take you about approximately an hour or two, maybe just to catch up with them.
Okay.
All right. So you travel in that
Are
direction.
they? Does it seem like?
They're going towards the mountain range, and you're basically on the opposite side trying to catch up with them, but they seem to be going upwards. All right. So you try to catch up, which is a perfect transition for Blue. You caught up with Anea, which she is on a horse, and you caught up with Amryn. And you are pretty beat up with scratch marks and bite marks all over you. You had a rough day, especially since your old enemy basically won. An old comrade of yours. And you're with Amryn. And the last time we left off with you, Amryn, is that Amryn said that she knows information about Black.
That she knows what?
Information in regards to Black.
Oh.
Because they talked while she was captive.
Okay. And are we like at the back of everyone that evacuated, or?
You're the furthest back. Like the group is like about like a 7-8 minute walk in front of you, and then there's obviously like the whatever remaining archers and like soldiers you left off like guarding the sides and the front. You guys are just kind of hanging back a bit, but no one's approximately around you, so no one's witnessed you yet as far as like the overall general list.
Okay. Well, I'd walk up to Irenaeus and ask about Emryn, and ask about the information that she has.
Well, when I was held captive, Black kept muttering to himself. It's quite weird. Seems to me looking at his hand and the skull the whole time. And whenever I do try to start conversing, since I had nothing else better to do, especially with a breathing dragon over your head, it seems like he came from a monastery?
Yeah, he and we grew up together, and he at some point started studying necromancy and was responsible for destroying the monastery.
So you didn't stop him, or you didn't know at the time, or?
I had an idea, but I didn't realize the broad grasp of necromancy that he had. He would start off by just animating small rodents like a mouse or a rat, and then it got to where he could do larger animals like a fox or a dog.
And you didn't bring this up to your leaders, or because this whole situation could have possibly been avoided.
Yeah, they didn't seem to be too worried because there are various ways to use necromancy. Yes, you may summon an undead, but as long as you control it, it'll do what you tell it to. So they didn't think anything of it. And being young and naive, I didn't think anything else of it either, since they were so sure that he would use it for the betterment of the monastery, which we soon later realized we were wrong.
Well, now that he's now that with the monastery gone, probably a long time ago, I guess, seems like he's moved to greater things. It seems like.
It would seem so. If this Vecna is as powerful as I've heard, then that's probably what he was after.
Well, I don't know about this Vecna character, but what my husband told me is that they went to a tomb and they fought a version of Vecna or some shit like that.
Yeah, it seemed like some sort of spectral version of the Lich, whatever he is. And one of our party members took his hand, and then we made our way to the village that we just left.
Yes. By the way, speaking of my husband, is he alright? What happened to him exactly?
I'm not entirely too sure. I just met up with them not too long ago myself. I've only had a few days with them. If there is anything wrong, I can assure you I don't know anything about it.
She then looks at you, looks at you up and down. She notices like the bite marks and stuff, and she takes a spare cloak, like she keeps in her bag. She says, "Here, you may not want the others to see this." And then she kind of wraps the bite and scratch marks all over you, and you're covered in this big cloak.
He'd
This
bow
was
his
the
head a little
spare
bit.
ones from my husband's, but I think you could use it.
He'd bow his head a little bit and thank you.
Well, now we just got to get these people to safety. We did set up a perimeter camp way back when we were hunting for billy goats up north. We made a small camp. We could probably build something up there, but after we're done getting them settled, you, me, we're gonna find my husband, figure out what the hell's going on. Because that bastard tied me up, and I'm not gonna let someone like that fly all over on the damn dragon.
Yeah, I've got words to share with him.
And Naya then adds in, "Yes, and I'm gonna join in too." And then Amarin kind of like looks at Naya and then looks at you. She's like, is it safe for her to? Would you mind coming a bit closer, just out of earshot?" She whispers to you.
I'd follow.
And we'll just be by the side. Go ahead and catch up with the others. She kind of like nods her head, kind of like in this look where like she's like, "Yeah, I know you're probably gonna talk about me or whatnot," as she like gallops on her horse back up to the group. And you and her just speak privately as she says, "This girl, do you know how long she's been with my husband and his friends?"
Not entirely. I'd guess maybe a week before I joined with them.
I'm just quite a bit surprised that she actually lived this long.
She has her moments. Definitely not the brightest, but she listens to your husband, and it seems like he knows what he's talking about. So he is, in part, responsible for her living this long.
Well, it's a good thing to know my husband would make a good father if we ever had any kids. But I don't think she can, on the journey that we might make, I don't think she might live as long. I think she would be rather better being with the people here. Wouldn't you agree? And since my husband isn't here, I think we both have to make a vote of what she will do.
She seems like a quick study. She's picked up on some fighting techniques and seems to be able to handle herself well. It's not my place to say if she comes or goes with the group, and it seems like your husband is really taken to her in terms of teaching her how to survive.
Well, with the utmost respect, I mean, judging from. And then she kind of looks back at the town of Parnas, which at this point is like up in flames. And you just see one giant ogre like just walking around and then just like one dead like around the area. She's like, I don't know if she could live through another one of those.
As long as we keep her on the outskirts of any potential threat like that, she has better odds than most.
Listen, at the end of the day, you gotta think of what if she does get bit, like you just did? Or what if she screams in terror? Or what if she's caught in a horde? Or what if she has to lose a limb if she does get bitten? You would be fine with her living through like that? Or would you rather have her safe in a community of people, with people that could protect, that could teach, and she could actually have a life? I don't know what she was before all this, but I want her to live long enough to see civilization at least come back.
I look at it this way. Either she stays with the group and we get this whole mess sorted out, she'd be hailed as a hero afterwards. Or she stays in relative safety with a group and fades into nothingness. It is not my place to say whether she wants to come with us or not. That is her choice. That is her destiny.
And then I must respect that, but do remember, heroes may live forever, but sometimes it's best to leave the fighting to the fighters. And then she walks off.
And he'd just watch, kind of slow his pace a little bit.
All right. You, after 20 minutes or so of just traveling up this mountain range, this area at this point, it's an area clearly not fit for like a big society like the town of Partnast, but with some work and overtime, it could. And Aaron, as she's like giving a speech about trying to rebuild and trying to stay here for the night, and then continuing going southern to try to find a old abandoned town that she heard of about in the mountain range and try to get settled there. And like is basically delegating leadership with Angelique along with other members of the council beforehand. While she's giving this speech, Anea comes up to you and says, Luke, can we talk?
Yes, what is on your mind?
What did you two talk about? I know you talked about me, but what is it? What did you talk about?
What do you think of the group you've been traveling with so far?
Well, Axius is hard, but he's kept me alive. Rico's funny and quirky and smart. Ichabod's old, but he knows how to build stuff. And I don't know who this new guy you just had, but he talks. He doesn't seem smart, but he seems to know stuff. But if you guys are trying to, she kind of like thinks for herself. Oh my god, serious! I saw that in the chat. She says, "Damn, that text chat is really getting to me now." She says, "But I've had fun. I had more fun than before all this, and I don't know. I feel that I could stick around. I know I could pull my weight. It just haven't proved myself yet, but I know I can."
What would you rather do? stay in a village where it's safe, knowing that you'll be able to live, possibly to see the end of this plague, or be part of ending this.
She looks at the town, whatever remains of it. She says, "Why not both?"
I get the feeling that where our group is headed, there is a significantly high chance that you will die at some point. If you don't die, you may end up losing an arm or a leg. Would you be okay with that?
She thinks to herself for a bit, and you kind of see this saddened look on herself, and she says, "Well, if I do die, at least I get to be back with my mom and dad. If anything, I'd be happy either way, I guess."
You must make a choice when we finally meet up with the rest of the group. You must either choose to stay in safety or risk your life, and that is up to you. And he turned to walk away.
As you turn to walk away, Erin finishes up her speech, and she comes up to you. She says, "Okay, so we got some good news. There is enough soldiers here. Luckily, there's enough to keep the others' safety. And I made Angelique the leader of the group. I promised her to bring her brother back because she probably has a good idea, because she saw what happened with Black and his weird magic. But I do know that this Black, your old buddy, as you like to call, must be stopped. And quite frankly, I need to find my husband because he knows how to solve the problem. So, what you and me are going to do is that we're gonna, while Angelique runs things, we're gonna go find my husband. Now, my husband's smart enough that in a situation like this, he would probably find some kind of safety. So he's probably at the outskirts of town somewhere. We're just gonna find out where. If you need a rest, we can rest for a little bit before. But I would very much like to find my husband to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yes, I will need a short rest to tend to my wounds, but nothing more than an hour at most.
And she then looks at Naya. She says, "Well, you decide to stick with them for the meantime. We do have an hour, so if you want to, well, it's up to you what you want to do. I can't really speak for my husband or what you do." She's looking at Naya, by the way. But if you want to come, you could come. But if you want to stay here, I wouldn't blame you. And then she says, "I gotta gather my things and send my afterwards. We'll be heading out. So rest up as much as you can." She looks towards you. And then she walks away. So
he doesn't say anything. He just watches them, kind of eyeing their reactions to each other, just trying to gauge what is going to happen.
Okay. So you spend a short rest so you can get as much hit die as you want. You regain all your key points, of course. And after this short rest, after a short meditation, you, Amryn, and Anea gather your things and head down south towards the right side of town, going down hilltops. Obviously, Anea's on a horse because that's her horse now. And she travels down. All right, then we transition to the next group. So,
Wait. I have a quick question.
Yes.
Wouldn't Kodo
Yes.
have caught up with them if they rested for an hour?
oh, I'm gonna get to that.
Okay,
So, I'm gonna get to that soon.
that's fair.
So, we get to Axios, Ichabod, and Rico. You guys spent the last 20 to 30 minutes dragging Axios' dead, well, almost dead body, and you two are just dragging him. And at this point, you find safety at the east side of town in a small hill area where you started to catch a breather, and you lay Axios down. Rico and Ichabod, what do you two do?
Do we catch up with those two archers that ran in the same direction?
No.
Oh, okay. I
Is that why you dragged me out here? To catch up with them?
yeah, we went the other direction.
Right? But it's just you and Rico right now, and Axis is just laying there half dead, so.
Rico, come here, and I want to look at his wound.
Show him my back. Bite.
All right.
Does it look
Has it,
okay?
like, has it spread out more, or is it like slowly spreading out?
It's slowly spreading out. It's still in the contained area at the moment, but you know, because you've seen it before, that like if he does rest up, it could spread quick. But you know
Who's
that
got
you
the
won't.
map? Who's got the map of the Ankh?
I think Axios does. Yeah.
My dead corpse.
I feel up Axius looking for them.
I loot the body.
Easy enough. You do so.
Is
No
he
investigation
breathing
check.
normally, or is he like?
He's breathing in and out, but there's long pauses between all that. You know he's alive, but barely.
I don't
As
have
you're
any
rummaging
healing
through
spells.
his
There's
body.
nothing I can do.
I take the map and I spread it out and put the Ankh on it. I'm like, all right, Nubis. Probably one and only cleric left on these lands is dying. Where's the nearest place that can heal him?
Make a religion check.
Oh my god.
Can I help?
How do you help?
I guess I don't know the area too well, but could talk about what I know about religious institutions and where they're likely to be.
All right. You can make that check with. I'll give you a +3 modifier because that's broad information in addition to your roll. So that's a 15. You point the Ankh to the map and follow. And per request, let me just look at my map. There is. You see like a small glimmer of like a yellow light that goes southeast of where Parnast was, but right before like a big pool. Like you know that you look at the map and you see the town of Parnast, which you guys are towards the right of that.
Yeah.
Like at the edges of the forest and what have you. And the glow is coming from like this big lake at the edge of this big lake. You could probably get there in like give or take half a day depending on your pace. But it's just a full clearing.
The Lonely Moor?
Say again?
Lonely Moor. Or the little blue dots is Lonely Moor.
Let me look at that. Alright, so you see the marsh of the Klingber. I can't pronounce that. My apologies. Right?
Yeah.
You see the marsh. And then you see the lake above Grey Cloak Hills.
Yeah.
It's like towards the edge of that spot at the northwest of that lake that seems to glow. But other than that, that's really it. It's the only glow that radiates from the map.
Northwest, okay.
Yeah, you could probably give or take, depending on pace, you could probably get there in half a day on regular pace.
Alright. We follow the Ankh.
I'm gonna take the Ankh and just kind of kneel by Axios's body for a second. Say, Mr. Anubis, I know we haven't known each other for long, but I need to get my friend on his feet. Just a little bit of health just to get him walking. That's all I want. I've got nothing I can do.
Roll a d20. Just a straight d20.
Big money, no whammies. 17.
Okay. Axios. Where we last left off in the session, you met damn, I forgot the name. Damn. I wrote it down though. Asmodeus, yes.
Yeah.
Asmodeus or Asmodeus. I'm gonna call him Asmodeus because it's easier to pronounce. So you are talking with Asmodeus, and you're in this weird purgatory space where it's just pitch black void, and the only thing there is just him. And he's where we last left off, where you left off, is that the skulls are posing a problem, and then he conjured a business desk with a picture behind him and a chair in front of it. And he gestured you to sit down.
I sat down. I did sit down.
He says to you, "Now, are you aware of how a soul works?"
No, I'm not aware of that. Not at all.
I am not surprised, but here's how it works. He then snaps his fingers, and you just see a small humanoid in an action figure size. Just stated there, says, "Now, to kind of make sure to you fully understand, and quite frankly, you don't have much time because your friend is probably going to bring it back at some point, but to kind of sum everything up, a soul is created by the gods and putting what they think they need into an individual. The gods put them in humanoids. The dwarves are put there by their god, and the elves, well, based on how good or bad they are, sometimes they get recycled. Tiefling souls, on the other hand, he gestures and you see like a generic tiefling. And he says, "Tieflings, because they come from my world and because of the deal I made with the angels and the gods, for every 5 or 10 humanoid souls makes a soul of 1 tiefling." Of course, these are humanoid souls for the most part, unless elves. The damn elf souls are hard to get nowadays, but nonetheless, 10 souls make 1 tiefling. And the purpose of your existence is to serve me. But because the gods wants more diversity, I give you life on your plane as your free time, or vacation, as the business world call it, before you eventually start working for all eternity for me, serving your purpose until your existence faded. Now, sounds harsh, yes, but that is the deal I struck many millennia ago. It has not changed since then, but he then turns one of the humanoid figures into a zombie that you well know. He says, "This infection is not magical, but this disease is causing a problem. Us deities are powered by the prayers and calls of mortals. That fuels us, gives us power. The more prayers, the more praise, and the more acts done in our name that are completed in our name grants us more power in the outer realms. However, another thing that fuels us is soul. Souls who are good are used by the gods in their favor. These serves as agents or heroes, or as or even angels if they're that pretentious, like the paladins. But a tiefling soul and souls who are bad go straight directly to my 9 hells, where we either abuse them, torture them, or do whatever we want with them for all of eternity. But if they're bad enough or prove useful, they could start being one of our minions. The more work you do, the more excellent work you do, the more promoted you get. However, because of this plague, a soul in a zombie's corpse is much different, where their soul is trapped, and the soul and its essence are used as if it's grasping like its last useful energy source. And as such, it cannot leave the body. Therefore, what do you think happens?
You lose power.
More than just that. Like I said before, tieflings require more souls to be produced than most other humanoid souls. The less influx of souls, and as he gestures his hand, you see the humanoid, little action figures turn into zombies. Like, the less souls there are, the less tieflings there are in this world.
You're
And to
asking
be
me
quite
to save
frankly,
the entire race. That's what you're asking.
that is why I'm even interested into talking to you now. Well, I know you could just be wandering aimlessly in this void until your comrade breaks you out. What?
I asked
Because
you for power before the attack happened, and you just sat back and idle. And now all of a sudden you need me. Is that what we're coming to?
you see, you must be aware that I do not care what you do on the material plane. And to be honest, your actions were quite amusing. But clearly you lack the power that your enemies have. Power that even rivals. And in my weakened state and the state of the gods could cause more of a problem, not just in the material plane. There are very few individuals that have the capabilities of traversing planes, conversing with angels, fighting demons. And quite frankly, us deities don't want that to happen. This poses a threat. That and these three skulls, and he gestures to these skulls, and they're kind of hovering in the air, like rotating. And he says, now what I propose to you. Now, unfortunately, I cannot claim your soul yet, for you are in this purgatory state. And you see like your body fading in and out, as you kind of get the feeling that you may be bringing back to life. He says, but clearly we don't have enough time to discuss. So I suggest this. Pulls out a contract, slams it down on the table, and then he takes a quill with a ink bottle just completely empty. He pushes it to you and says, now, the runes that were forcefully placed upon you, they do give you power. They make you bigger in size. You might do a bit more damage, but what size does not quite matter these days. And whatever other properties these runes may hold probably would have served in the time before the dead arrived. Now, you sign this. I'll make your runes disappear and replace it with some of my essence. And with some of my essence, you gain more power than possibly imagine. And all I ask in your favor in return is to solve this situation with the skulls and make sure it doesn't pose a problem ever again. And regardless whether you succeed or not, it does not matter. Your ass will belong to me. But if you want benefits, then this is the deal you must sign, unless you want to be tortured here all your life, being served as nothing more than a slave as you were before the undead arrived. And you're seeing your essence being faded in and out, and a little bit more of a rapid pace. It says, but I was just making that deal quite soon than expected, because I'll not offer it again.
I'll snatch the quill, pierce my thumb to bleed it, and then sign my name.
Alright. He says, excellent. He then levitates the scroll, curls it back, puts a seal on it, and you see the contract, the table, and the chairs fade away. You kind of like... He says, you will hear it's just a fraction of my power. He points at your forehead, and as it does, you see your horn grow back, like fully restored. However, the runes slowly begin to disappear, but as it does, you get this very burning sensation. Now, you as a tiefling have inherent of like burning, and the only kind of pain you've ever felt in your life is when you did have those magical runes placed on there. This is like the worst kind of burn you've ever felt, because it's going through your entire body. You see the runes on your body just completely evaporate, but as it does, you're just covered in this weird flame. You see your skin being turned ablaze, and as it does, you get this burning sensation. You're like screaming, and you get the feeling that everything inside you is burning. Your skin is burning, your organs are burning. You feel like you're in eternal hell. He's like, you hear this maniacal laugh, and as he does, you open your eyes. And Rico and Ichabod, you do see a horrid sight. You see Axius get his horn back, but he looks more demonic-like. He looks more of a demon rather than a humanoid. You see that his tail is a bit more bigger and thicker. You see his skin have these small spikes come all over him. You see him have slightly longer fingernails. You see his horns slightly longer than usual. His eyes, which are basically humanoid eyes, like we all know, are just like fully dilated. What is the color of your eyes, Axius, by the way?
Yellow.
His whole eyeball is just bright yellow. and he looks a bit more fiendish than what he did. You may replace all your fighter levels with the Oath of Vengeance Paladin class. So you replace all your fighter levels with Paladin levels.
Got it.
Holy shit.
And you two see this. How do you react?
What the hell did you just do?
What was fucking necessary? I also do want to state that my dark vision did go down from 120 to 60, but
Oh, yes.
I also have blind sight of 10 feet. So like Attack on Titans, when they come out and they have like scars on the edge of their eyes, that's also where my blind sight's pretty much located at. So it's just super scarred right near the eyes as well.
I stopped making the stretcher that I was doing with the wood and the ropes and stuff.
Looking good there, buddy.
How long was I out?
Good while. You got the hit.
You're at 1 hit point, by the
Dragonborn
way,
got the
Axios.
skull.
What's up?
You're at 1 hit point, by the way.
Drop this hit point.
Well, what do you
Rico
three do?
got dead. Everyone else scattered. We don't know where the two monks are. I think I found a place where we can get Rico healed up.
What do you mean healed up?
He got bit. We need to go find a scroll to keep him from turning. And I explained to you about putting the map in the Ankh, and it pointed down towards that big lake.
And can we relax for a second? I have changed a whole fuck ton, and I need a second. I just literally woke up. I almost died too, so I get it. Just
All right,
let
I'll
me
leave
rest
it
for
up
a
to
bit.
Rico.
Rico, are you okay?
No, nothing is okay.
No,
That's a dumb question. Don't ask dumb questions.
I am literally one punch from death. All right, just fuck. I'm asking if we can rest for an hour and then we can go.
1 hour.
1 hour, promise. Fuck. Can I take a short rest?
So,
I'll
DM,
go.
I have a
Yes.
tattoo needle as part of
Uh-huh.
my material components. I'm
Sure.
wondering if I can get, like, I don't know, something to tattoo my hand with. Some kind of ink, or
Okay.
if I can
So,
get some, like, charcoal and mix it with water or something.
So your general knowledge with tattoo making is that there's obviously you can use a variety of liquids to do so. You just need some kind of substance that is closely resemble to ink or ink itself. Ink is the proper way because the safest way, but using stuff like, nature or other such things could possibly either add benefits or detrimentals. So what specifically would you like to try to find as a substitute for ink?
Charcoal. I think would probably be the safest bet.
All right, make a perception check. Actually, just go ahead and just do your short rest stuff while we.
11.
I did.
All right, and Ichabod, if you want to do so too, that's fine. Rico, you see the ashes of like the burning forest that is still ongoing. By the way, you get close to the edge, and you see just ash scattered all around, but no charcoal whatsoever.
Can I use some of the ash then? It's not as dark, but
You grab some of the ash. You probably need a larger quantity, and you gotta somehow make it into a liquid, which could be consuming.
I have a water skin. You could just pour some water and mix ash in there. I'm just looking to
Okay.
like make like an inch large tattoo.
Okay. So with the water skin and ashes, you could definitely do that. However, the water now sucks. But you could definitely do something like that, and this could probably be enough for one full tattoo, assuming you don't fuck it up.
I'm gonna go off and try to find some berries or something to eat. Nourishment.
All right. So make a perception check, Ichabod. This is all during short rest, by the way.
Yeah. I don't need one, so perception.
Yep.
21.
21. Unfortunately, because there's a burning fucking forest, there's not a lot of animals around that area. If anything, they probably left at this point. The only animals you find are like dead animals on the ground that are either half burnt or half eaten due to the undead. But other than that, you can't really find much good food other than,
No berries, nuts.
make a nature check.
Find it. Five.
Nope. You're not really a woodsy person, so you couldn't find any berries, nuts, or what have you.
Can I spend 10 minutes of the short rest casting Flank Steed? Or would I have to wait till after?
I'll read Feinstein, but we gotta transition to the next group while you guys are doing all that during your short
Can I
rest.
Do the tattoo.
Oh yeah, so let's make a dexterity check, because you gotta be careful of drawing the tattoo.
Okay.
See how well you do. So just a general dexterity check, and then we'll go to Koto.
Not too bad. 16.
You just beat the DC, you're able to successfully do your tattoo.
Adds 1d8 to my spell damage.
Alright, nice.
It's like a trebuchet right here on my hand.
Nice. Alright, Koto, make another perception check.
24.
You're walking around these hill-like areas, and as you do, you're trying to get over the hills and what have you, but you do able to find one humanoid on a horse, one heavily cloaked figure, and one familiar-looking humanoid individual about 10 to 20 minutes out, but you can't quite tell. But this individual has horns and a tail, and there's a hulking figure wearing a cloak and some small humanoid on a horse further ahead. You do see this.
Where exactly are we on the map?
Map-wise, go to my map. You guys are basically in the middle of these hill areas, like underneath Parnas, like in the middle of that, basically.
Parnas.
You see Parnas, and then there's like a big hill area below
I
it.
see
You guys are in
the
the
high
middle of that.
forest. I see Ulven, Sycamore, Forlorn Hills, Grey Peak Mountains.
Yeah, so go to Grey Peak Mountains. You should see Parnas, and as you see Parnas, there's a
I see
hill
Parnas.
area. Yep, and there's a hill area below it. You guys are in the middle.
Okay.
So it's a
Okay.
lot of hills, and as you do see this. What do you do?
I just keep trying to catch up to him.
All right. After 10 or 20 minutes or so,
Move pretty
Go ahead.
quick.
Okay.
Move pretty quick.
gotcha. After 10, 20 minutes or so, go ahead and just make a Constitution saving throw as you're moving quick through this rough terrain that you're not quite used to, and you're running as fast as you can. Very low DC, so see how well you do.
8.
Oof. You were 2 off. You gain a level of exhaustion because of it. As you rush to your fellow comrades. And Blue, you see a rushing figure, and you're like, oh boy, what the hell is this? But then you realize it's that Kodo dude you just recently met. And he comes up to you, like, heavily breathing and exhausted.
Are you alright?
I think so. It's been a very strange 3 hours.
Yes, well, in this day and age, does not surprise me.
Found
it's
a
about to see
wizard.
That you're alright.
Who are you? Oh, you're the sister of. What is that guy's name?
I'm not a sister, I'm a wife. You probably know Axius? The tiefling fellow?
Oh. Sure. Yeah, I know him.
Right.
You're the
Pleasure
one
to
that
meet
was
you.
in the clearing that made that dragon attack the town. I remember you.
I wasn't the one. I was actually being rescued by the half fellow, actually.
Right. Rescued. So, there was this wizard, old,
Oh, Orion.
senile.
Did he make it out all right?
Sure. He paid me a lot of money to try to help you guys out with some skulls that glow.
Okay. She turns to you, Blue. Do you know what these skulls are? Because the only skull that I've seen is the one Black was holding, but I don't know what it does or what it does anything.
As far as I know, it's something magical. Spellcasters, most likely of the arcane nature, would be able to use them.
That's what the Ryan guy said. All the wizards or spellcasters really want that skull.
Wait a minute. Did my husband know any of this?
And your husband is
Axios,
I don't know.
the
Did you
tiefling
see
fellow.
that guy. I don't know. All I know is Orion said we need to make sure that undead kings don't get them. Make sure
Undead
that someone does not get all
kings?
three, or it's all over.
And Naya says, yeah, that would probably be bad if that were to happen.
No, Ryan said it would definitely be bad. Pull out a piece of chicken and start eating it.
You just see Kodo just pulling out like this freshly cooked chicken leg, and he's just chewing and munching on it.
He has all brand new clothes, brand new backpack, brand new bedroll. He does not have the rags like he used to, and all of his burns that he had because no one healed him. Looking at you, cleric. He's all fresh. He's all good to go. Still has a furrowed brow. Still confused as shit, but he looks way better than he did.
When you eat the chicken leg, you've tasted chicken leg before, and this is some like pretty damn good chicken leg. But what you fail to realize is that as you're eating it, all of a sudden your exhaustion level's gone. Seems like this is some weird magic chicken. All of a sudden you're fully fine. You were very heavily exhausted, like you just finished like a 10-mile run, but now you're perfectly fine after eating that chicken leg. Seems like something was in those rations.
I don't tell anyone.
Okay. All right.
So, do you know these guys? Lou.
Yes, I've been traveling with them for a few days. You have Axios, the tiefling. You have Rico and Ichabod. They're apparently trying, or at least we were trying to gather the skull to safeguard it or something. I'm not entirely too sure what the plan was.
You guys completely failed at doing that.
Yes, that is in no small thanks to my old friend, if you will, the Black Dragonborn.
So it's ultimately your fault, because your friend did it.
I wouldn't say it was my fault. I had no part to play in the city being attacked.
Okay.
Well,
so what are we doing next?
We are trying to find my husband, figure out what the hell we're gonna do with this weird situation. Clearly, you two, 2 points at Blue and you, Kodo. Clearly, you two know more about this situation than I do, and it feels like my husband has been
I don't know
telling
shit.
me everything. Right, so let's try to find my husband and the others and figure out where to go from here. I think that's the best.
Where is the rest of the? And I point to all the other people. Where are the rest of them going?
They're safe in the mountaintops for now. I left Angelique, the blacksmith, in charge of them. They know how to take care of themselves, and they got some soldiers and archers to protect them, so they'll be fine for now. Last time I checked, zombies haven't really climbed up mountains as of late.
They also don't destroy towns. That just happened. And that dragon
too.
was definitely undead, so they don't really need to climb if they can fly.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
It was around me for God knows what. The smell was unbearable.
So maybe these villagers won't be safe unless they find another town.
Well, that's what I tasked Angelique to do. There was some abandoned town in the mountains that they could find, and they'll be safe there for now. But right now, let's try to find my husband and try to figure out what the hell we're gonna do next.
Do you want to go back to the town that we just came from and try to track them from there?
I don't think in town is safe. Maybe if we check amongst the outskirts, we could probably find them somewhere there.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, you guys head over. We come now. Those two groups have joined now. We cut to Axios, Ichabod, and Rico. You three. It's been an hour. At this point, Axios finished casting Find Steed. Explain to me what the steed looks like.
So it is a three-eyed elk, very coarse and very hard-looking furs, and just ferocious, very fang teeth. Its horns are very sharp, and it is very fiendish looking.
Yeah, especially since it comes out from a portal of hell from the ground. Yeah, that's pretty dangerous. At this point, Rico, you finish your tattoo, you're like, damn, this weird fucking elf demon looking thing just came out of the ground.
Like, I look up after finishing the tattoo, being like, oh, look what I did, and I see this thing crawling out of the earth. I'm like, what the fuck?
At this point, Ichabod, you came back and you see this.
We're gonna eat that?
No, this is mine.
We're gonna have a long talk later.
Us?
Yeah,
About what?
about all this. About all this.
This is just true power. And then I hop on the steed and then with my tail just whip Rico onwards. DM, would I be able to ride all three of us with the elk?
This is a demonic elk, so I would say yes.
Perfect.
Because why not?
And I look at Ichabod and I was like, alright, where the hell are we going?
I pull out the map and I point on it where northwest of the marsh.
Yep.
Of the lake.
So northwest of here?
Yeah, on the
It
map.
would be south.
Or southwest, I'm sorry.
Alright. So I literally wait for Ichabod to get on and then start riding southwest on the up.
Alright. You ride southwest. The other party members are heading towards around the same area. I would like everyone to roll a d6. Actually, first let's start with Kodo and Blue. You two roll a d6. One. And Blue, roll a d6 for me here.
I rolled a 4.
4. Okay. Now I would like Ichabod, Rico, and Axios to all three roll a d6. 1, 4. 2. 1. An encounter will happen with your group.
Sweet.
Okay. So let me just pull this up here. 1 second. Okay, so you three are riding this demonic elk, like towards the marsh area. You guys have time to talk.
Oh, you want to talk about Rico?
Having so many mixed feelings right now. Because, like, on one hand, cool elk, glad you're back. On the other hand, what the fuck?
I had to make a deal to get the power to be able to do any of this shit. Those giant powers weren't mine to begin with, but this is my power.
A deal with who?
I'll deal with the only fucking god who would listen to me, Osmodeus. You know how long I've been praying to Core? I haven't gotten one piece of shred advice. I talked to Osmodeus once, and I'm over here having face-to-face conversations.
I've talked to Nubis once, and he's pointing us in the way to fix him.
Yeah, what's he sound like? I can tell you what Osmodeus is.
Like I listen to people.
This isn't your power either? Because,
This is my power.
you know,
This
it's
is the
from
power of the
him?
tiefling. No. This is the power that's always been in my blood. That was freaking diluted because of those damn giant runes that I couldn't get off me.
okay.
Also, my character alignment has gone from chaotic good to neutral evil, so this is my fucking power. And I'm gonna use it to kill that fucking Dragonborn.
I mean, I'm good with that. That works.
Yeah.
Alright.
This fucking elk is cool, man. I'm gonna
Good
call him
talk!
Alright, so let me roll a die here secretly. Okay. You got. What is everyone's passive perceptions?
16.
Between you three. 16?
Add 9.
9? Ichabod?
15.
Alright. Axios. You hear a very faint. As it does, you look in a general direction of, like, you know, where the fuck did that thing come from? And you realize that you have a dart sticking in your leg. I need you to make a con save with disadvantage.
Oh, I'm so glad you have more than one hit point.
Oh, with disadvantage, it's 18.
Okay, that's not too bad. You feel yourself getting fainted and winded. You're like, oh man, what's going on here? But then you snap out. You're like, wait, there's a fucking dart sticking in my leg.
Did I see where it came from?
No, your passive perception's not that. But there's a dart sticking out of your leg, and it's fucking weird.
Can I take it out and try to inspect it?
Make an investigation check.
So that's never good for me.
I'm pretty good at that, if you want to...
That's
Okay.
okay.
It's just a fucking dart.
I passed it to Rico. I was like, what the hell's with this? It almost made me faint.
17?
Yeah, this is some kind of poison dart of sort.
Yeah. Are you poisoned? Because you might be poisoned.
No, we have the fucking... Well, I mean, my fucking dragon shield protects me from poison, but I don't know if that shit works if I get hit with a dart on my leg.
Rico,
Regardless,
you feel a sharp sting at the back of your neck, and Ichabod, you see like another one of these darts stick at the back of Rico's neck. Rico, go ahead and make a con save with disadvantage.
Sweet.
Wait, he'd be in front of me,
It was behind him.
which would be hitting me. Rico's
Yes,
like 3
so-
feet tall.
I imagine
yeah,
that I'm
that is
like
true.
slung over the front of the saddle, like on my belly. And I'm like turning
Sure.
up to look at you and then flap.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
it was sandwiched between me and Axis, you know.
Yeah, so Rico, you feel the sharp pain, and you pull out. He's like, "Oh, this is another one of these darts," and then you fall unconscious and you fall off the mount.
No, I'm
Sweet.
holding him. I'm literally
Yeah.
holding him. Like,
Oh, you're holding him. My
like Lord of the
apologies.
Rings style. Because
All of a sudden, Rico's starting to fall, but then you catch him. You know something's up. Rico's all of a sudden unconscious. in your
I'm just
hands
gonna
while
take a
riding this
little nap.
mount. And then he
Can
goes
this
down.
thing run?
This thing can run.
Oh, it...
Can I start dashing through? Its speed is 50 feet, so that'd be 100 feet movement speed.
Sure. Let me just roll a secret dice here. Axius, you see a dart going right into the creature's body. Go. You have elk stats up, right?
Yep.
Make a disadvantage con save
On elk stats.
Yeah.
on elk stats.
Elk stats are.
Wait, isn't it an actual elk? I thought it was like a phantasmal type summon.
It's a
It is, but it's
demonic
the form of
elk.
it. It's the
Yeah.
form of an elk.
Form of a demonic elk.
It's still a living creature.
Let me roll the first one, which is a 19.
Okay.
The second d20 roll is a 2, so obviously it's a 2.
Oh yeah. So your mount goes and then it just falls forward. I need you and Ichabod to make a dexterity saving throw.
14.
14 will.
13.
Alright. You two, you're like, holy shit. And then you brace for impact and you jump off the elk, and the demonic elk goes down. Then the three of you hear foot.
Can I use my action to pretty much, I can dispel him to send him back to his original realm?
Sure. As he does, you just see a portal like form around him, and you just see hands dragging down this elk through the ground. And it just closes. With
So
your
glad I
passive
wasn't awake for
perception.
that.
What's up?
With your passive perception, Ichabod and Axius, you hear footsteps coming all around you, but you don't see anyone.
What time of day is this?
It's like almost like daybreak, so it's almost like the sun is almost out, but it's still dark.
Does falling wake me up?
No, Axius was holding on to you. Unless you want to wake him up now, Axius.
I'm gonna try to wake him up.
You wake him up.
Wake up. Someone's really starting to fucking piss me off.
Where'd your elk go?
Shut up. Someone's coming.
Alright. Now I'll make an open attack roll. Open attack roll for you all. Does a 15 hit any of you three?
15 is my armor class.
Alright. You take a point of damage. I need you to make a con save. Just a regular con save without disadvantage.
12.
You are. Let me just check the DC here. When you have I hate being DM when it comes to looking up stuff. I hate that part. Other than that, I don't mind it. So you're like, oh, this is weird. You get the feeling this is some kind of elvish poison. And as it does, you fall face flat unconscious as you figured it out. And all of a sudden, Rico can't really quite see. But Axies, you clearly see 60 foot away a drow with a blow dart gun. And then
Just
you
one
hear Commander Elvis going, Akuma Sima Room! And then you hear more footsteps approaching you. Meanwhile, let's hop back to the other group. You two, along with Anea and Amryn, are following down this path. And nothing happens. You get through the hill area, there's nothing bad happening. You guys have time to talk. What would you like to talk about?
I'm scouting ahead. I'm not really much of a talker.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye out, or at least an ear out, for anything that might be coming around us.
Alright. Other than that, Blue, you do hear like girl talk behind you between Amryn and Anea. But other than that, you guys are like really trying to keep your heads on your toes. Both of you make perception checks since you're actively looking around.
Got a 22.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Nice. You two, you approach the edge of the hill area, and you see this big clearing, and you see in the building out in the distance, like some kind of abandoned building nearby a lake. The weirdest thing is that you see this weird, like, large black dot. It may look like a weird elk, but there's people mounting it, and you just see it running. You see the elk topple over. You see two humanoid people, one weird looking thing, along with a humanoid individual land, and then you see one of these individuals go down, and all of a sudden you see an individual just randomly popping out of nowhere, and you hear screams of command in Elvish saying, "Get them! We got them! We must capture them!" Like further out in the distance, as this is echoed, and you're the only one who understands it because you understand Elvish. And then Aaron's like, "So what are you guys finding exactly?"
Just shut up. How far out are they, DM?
They are 60 feet away.
60 feet? How far away is the drows?
They are close by around them. You can't quite tell the distance from where you are at.
In a Kinsey archer with a range of 600 feet. About how far away are they?
You could get them in range. You're a good archer.
I signal to the women folk to get down.
Take it down.
Pick up some sand, adjust the windage, and I take a shot at that dumbass with the blowgun.
All right. Make an attack roll. Single attack roll.
16.
16. An arrow goes by. Axios, as you hear this command being said after some time, and as you're like getting ready to fight, you just see arrow just hit at the feet of this drow. Doesn't hit him, but hits right in front of him. It goes, ah! And then he says some other commands in drow, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by drow holding short. And that is where we're going to take a break. So when we come back, you guys are going to counter these drow. So until then, we'll have a quick 5-minute break, and afterwards, we'll continue where we left off. So we'll be back. Alright, and I think we're off air, boys, so now's a good time to get your
Everything
snacks.
but the wings. Everything but the wings.
I've been keeping track of my arrows. Now, are you a forgiving DM and allow me to go pick up arrows, or are they just done?
You didn't say you picked up your arrows, so no.
I didn't
all
pick up
those-
my arrows. I'm asking going forward. Are you
Yeah,
one of those
I
DMs that's
do
going
keep
to allow
track
me
of
to
it.
try to pick them up? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
You
been
can
keeping
pick
track
up
of
your
all the
arrow-
arrows.
yeah, you can
We
pick
were in the middle of a town, 100 zombies. I'm not worrying about the
Right.
fucking arrows at that time.
Right,
After
I
I-
understand.
After I kill these dumbasses with blowguns, I'm gonna go get my arrows. So you're gonna allow that? Yeah.
Yep.
No,
You can
I
definitely
didn't
do that.
tell you. Oh, I'm gonna go pick up my arrows because everything was on fire. There was a dragon
Right,
and
right.
100 zombies.
No, I got you.
So
No,
as for the Black Dragonborn, yes, that kind of is my fault because that was the story that I gave the DM. But I didn't give him any other details apart from we were best friends. He decided to destroy the town or the monastery. Have at it.
Okoto's just having a bad day. Like
Oh
the
yeah.
last 4
He's like, I'm
hours.
fucking
it's
in the
just
middle of
been
this shit,
so
but I was
bad.
promised a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm getting paid with food and money. I really, so far the going rate for Koto is 2,500 from the weird wizard. Now, if the bad guys start giving him more money, he's just gonna go with the bad guys.
Nice. That whole time you were talking about chicken, all I could think was, at least I have chicken.
I got a pot roast that I'm cooking. I can't wait to have beef and noodles tomorrow.
Oh boy, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom. And welcome back to the Dead Realms. Everyone roll initiative. As I play this music.
Fuck.
Natural 20.
You want it in the
Let's
chat?
go. Yes, if you don't mind, please. That'll be helpful.
Is there any way to add it from a manual roll?
What do you mean?
You said that you wanted the initiative roll in the chat.
Just to type it in.
Just to type it in. So I could just write it down. It's easier. Okay.
I mean, what do I just start typing and it goes through the chat or what?
Yeah, so just go to the Dead Realms text side and just enter what you rolled for initiative. I'm gonna roll for Amron in the meantime. Okay. And then we just roll for Ichabod, that's bad. But it works out story-wise though, as you're unconscious. 6. Alright, so we roll for Renea, which is just a straight d20 roll. I'm just gonna roll off of Amron's character sheet because it's easier. Alright. Koto. And what'd you roll, Koto? For your initiative?
Yeah, I rolled a 1, bud.
Ooh. Is that plus your dex mod?
Yeah, it's 6. That's the reason why.
Oh, okay.
You get a +5
Ah,
as a monk.
okay.
I rolled a 1.
Gotcha.
So
Between the monks, which one of you two would like to go first?
He can go first.
Right?
Don't worry, I rolled a 1
Aw.
as well. That's why mine's so low.
Nice. Monks are.
It's fine. It's fine. The
No.
drow rolled 1 as well, so.
At least we saw
Sweet.
this coming. It could have been the other way around.
We do have range, so it'd be harder for them to get to us.
By the way, I messed up as far as how far distance-wise, Koto. It's 100 feet, not 60 feet, but regardless, your bow, does
Yeah.
more range than that, so.
They are within range of Koto.
Yeah, they
That's all
are
that
within
matters.
range still. They're just 100 feet away.
And they will shortly be in range of blue.
You gonna
get
run
to
down
see
the
Blue
mountain
finally
at them?
punch.
No, I've got a short
We get-
bow.
If you
We
need
get to see Blue
arrows,
finally punch, possibly, so.
if you need arrows, Koto's carrying around 50 arrows on him.
Alright. Here's the situation. Axios, Rico, you two get the idea that you're surrounded by these or drow, or whatever you want to call them. Ichabod is face planted down after taking some mad poison. One of the drow is revealed, but you hear footsteps all around you. You don't know where the others are. You only see the one drow nearby that is 30 feet away holding a blow dart gun that's slowly transitioning into a short sword. That being said, Axios, you get to go up first. What would you like to do?
Ooh, you say it's 30 feet away?
He's 30 feet away, but you hear movement all around you, but you don't see where they are at.
Can I hear them?
You heard footsteps all around you. You don't know where they are though, and it's like clear. It's like a big clearing area, so it's not like you can't. So.
All right, I'm gonna use my free action to tell Rico. I'm gonna look at Rico. I was like, Rico, wake up, Ichabod. All right.
All right. What else would you like to do?
I am going to run to the drow I see 30 feet from me. and
As you run away from the drow, you get hit with an
run
attack
towards
of
the drow.
opportunity. Yes, as you run towards the drow, you get hit with an attack of opportunity.
How?
Because as you're walking past, as you go 15 feet further, all of a sudden a drow magically appears and it will swing at you as you are leaving their range.
I have blind sense. I would notice them before.
That changes
his
things.
range.
So blind sense wise, you get the feeling they're all around you 15 feet.
All right, I'm
With
going
just
to-
hearing their footsteps and you just getting like a feeling that like, yeah, they're probably about 15 feet away because of your new abilities as a feral tiefling.
All right, I'm going to take a 5 foot. You said he's 30 feet away, right?
The drow that you are seeing is 30 feet away. You get the sense that the others are probably 15 feet away, maybe circling. You're not too sure.
I'm still gonna look at Rico and say, you gotta wake Ichabod up. Alright?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna bonus action Misty Step to the dude I see, and then attack him recklessly.
He goes, oh shit. So attack him.
That's with advantage, because it's a reckless attack.
Alright, you're reckless to do it. Well, you're raging, so you have to rage to do reckless. Oh wait, you don't have to, never mind. No,
Yeah,
you don't. I misspoke. So what you
21
hit?
to hit.
21. He's gonna use his reaction to parry that, which will just hit his AC, so he'll take half damage.
Alright.
He's like, oh shit, and then he just barely dodges it, parries your attack. So go ahead and roll damage. Attacks against you have advantage.
That's 14, so half of that is 7.
So half that 7. Okay.
And then my second attack, also reckless.
Okay.
Oof, almost. 27 to hit.
27 will hit. Roll damage.
I'm going to put a Divine Smite in this one.
Okay.
So that's 10 damage regularly, plus 2d8.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is an extra 5 damage, so that's
So
5
15 total.
dark radiant
Describe to
damage.
me what your Hellish Divine Smite looks.
Oh man, that is just a swirl of black energy. Somehow this black and red light just emanates from my halberd as I slash through him.
Alright. You do so. He goes, ah! And then he says something in Elvish, but you can't understand what he's saying.
Not gonna lie, that was pretty fucking cool.
Is that it?
I think I don't have action surge anymore. God dang, I wish
Nope.
I had it. Yeah, that's my turn right now.
Alright. Rico, you're up. Axios told you to wake Ichabod up. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll stand up. Can I wake Ichabod up as like a use an item just to shake him?
We'll say that's a bonus action. It doesn't take much to wake
Okay.
him up.
Cool.
So, Ichabod, you are awakened from your slumber. You're like, oh shit, what the hell? These are elvish darts. And the only way that could happen is that either by elves or drow. And then you look around you, and there's a drow further ahead that is engaging with Axios.
And I would like to firebolt that drow in the face.
Okay, so you have to move out of the way a bit so you don't hit Axios, but you now make an attack roll. So you moved a bit, make an attack roll. We'll say 5 feet, so.
21.
That will hit him. Roll damage.
Big money, no whammies. 15 points of fire.
Alright. Axios, you see this drow get hit with like a fire baseball kind of deal. And then you turn around and use your buddy Rico with the assist.
I'll give him a thumbs up.
How much damage, by the way?
15.
15? Okay. Alright. Is that your turn?
Yeah. I'll say something menacing in halfling. Like, go fuck your mothers.
You two don't understand a word Rico just said, but he probably said some kind of slur of some sort. Back to 100 feet away, Amran sees this, says, what the hell is going on over there? Koto, is it right?
Shut the fuck up. Your brother's getting attacked by drow.
He's my husband, but God
I'm
damn
not
it.
judging.
She will spend her turn basically moving dash as a rogue. So she has
I would
movement.
counter that and say, because Fog Cloud has 120-foot range, that she would cast it from 120 feet out.
Okay. So let me make her a perception check to confirm that it's actually you, because Koto was no help. So let me just make a perception check for her. Because, like, this is 100 feet away. So, perception with her modifiers. Oof. She's unsure. So she will spend her movement dash 30, 60. She's about closer to the distance, so the dash uses a bonus action for her. Let me just see the ring. Let me see fog cloud. Real quick. Spells. By the way, for the viewers, she is an arcane rogue. Level 5. Me and Sirius discussed this. Let me just read fog cloud. Yeah, she can do it. Rico, Ichabod. All of a sudden, this weird fog hovers over the entire area. And she casts fog cloud as her action. And it's a 20-foot radius, so we'll say it's in between. Yeah, we'll say it's like in between around where Axius and like the other two are. So let's just say it's approximately around that area, mainly towards like where Axius is, because that's the only enemy she could see. So we'll say it's a little bit more towards Axius in comparison to Ichabod and Rico. You just see a fog cloud form like around Axius. Let me just read it here. What's wrong corners? The area is heavily obscured, so you just see Axius. Ichabod, you just see Axius vanish. Rico, you just see some black smoke, but not much else.
Still see the drone in front of me, right?
Yeah, you still see him. Yeah, dark vision. So, and so does he. So, that being said, that's gonna be her turn. Anea will just use her horse and like gallop to where like she's close by you. That being said, drows go. The drow in front of you is gonna make 2 attacks against you, Axius. I'm gonna roll off of Aaron's character sheet, but it's gonna be different modifiers. The first one will miss. The second attack with the short sword. Check stats. Does a... Let me just see. Sorry. Switching over to tabs is hard. A dirty 20 will hit you, yes?
Yep.
You take 10 points of piercing damage plus 5 points of poison damage, but since you're wearing armor, it's half that. And I need you to make a con save with disadvantage.
With disadvantage?
Yep, because this is drow poison. Some dangerous stuff.
Sorry, that is the wrong.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Quick question for you,
So
DM.
that'd be 18.
18, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel the poison going deeper into your veins, similar to that dart, but you just knock it off.
How much would be?
It almost got you though. Alright. At this point, the drow surrounding Rico and Ichabod will appear, and they'll each do 1 attack. There is a grand total of 6 drow around Rico and Ichabod. So 3 attacks against Rico, 3 attacks against Ichabod.
Wait,
I'm actually still on the ground. I haven't moved yet.
Oh yes. So your attacks get hit with advantage. So let me just roll advantage for Ichabod first. And this will be applied. Oh, the dude. Oh, my apologies. So. Okay, so we'll just resolve this first. So Ichabod, you get hit 3 times with the 21.
Alright.
And you take a grand total of 30 points of piercing plus 15 points of poison. And I need you to make 3 Constitution saving throws. Well, first off, are you still...
5 points I've already taken.
And you're still up? Or are you down?
Still subtracting just a moment.
That's fine.
No, I'm still up.
Make 3 con saves.
First one. 10.
Don't even bother rolling the other 2. You drop unconscious. Dead drop on the ground. And you see the drow tying you up and being ready to pick you up on their next turn. And they hog tie you. Dex save for Hellish Rebuke, right?
Yep, 13 dex save.
Yeah, 8 plus 5 will succeed. So they'll take... Yep.
So half of 15?
So we'll say 7. Alright. this time your black fire is actually more bigger than usual, as its drow's like half covered. He then says some commands, and at that point you turn around. You turn around only to find like there's smoke around you, heavily obscured. But so you don't know what's going on with Ichabod and Rico. But Rico, 3 drow attacked Ichabod. Ichabod just falls face down, similar to like earlier, and is being hogtied. At the same time, 3 drow are gonna attack you. So I'll just make 1 roll and represent all of their attacks. While natural 1, they are so distracted about their commands and this weird fog appear that they don't know what's going on, that they judge your height, and they all kind of like whiff above you. But you see Ichabod getting hogtied, though. That being said, Kodo, you're up. Amron and Ane are taking off to the commotion. You see just a fog cloud, and all of a sudden 6 humanoid drow appear circling around what seems like to be a small humanoid and a regular humanoid. What would you like to do?
I've been listening to what I'm thinking is the leader trying to give out commands, correct?
Yes, in a Elvish language. Basically saying... Make a perception check first off.
Dirty.
You hear him say, "Get them! Take them! And take them to the altar!" You hear him say that.
I yell out to him, hey, that one's mine. Go away.
Turn around, and you see the only thing left is Blue.
No, I'm yelling down to the captain.
Oh, okay,
Hey, drop him. That one's mine. In Elvish.
Alright. What else do you do?
I started filling him full of arrows.
Alright. Make your attacks. You're attacking the leader?
Yeah,
Or
18.
Okay, so first off, he's heavily obscured, so you cannot see him because he's in the fog cloud. You do see the drow circling around your... So you get to attack one of them if you wish.
So I can't see the leader. That's
Nope, because he's covered in fog. Yep.
But then I wouldn't
heavily...
have been shooting at him. I would have been shooting at the ones trying to hogtie the guy.
Yep, that's fine. So go ahead and make it a...
I was not aware
so go
of
ahead
the fog cloud.
No, that's cool, it's cool. Still make an attack roll.
22 to hit.
We'll hit one of them. Roll damage.
13 points of damage.
Alright. An arrow goes. Rico, you see one of the drow that has finished hogtying Ichabod just get an arrow straight to the back, like, ah! And they're looking around saying, what's going on?
NC shot. Same guy.
Alright.
28 to hit.
Hits. Damage. Seven. Another
4.
arrow.
7 plus 4. It's a Kenzie
Okay.
shot.
Alright. Rico, you see another arrow being shot to the front chest of this drow, going, oh!
Am I at least impeding their advancement on hogtying this guy? They just narrow-minded.
It looks like they're finishing up hogtying at the moment, because there are 3 of them.
Yeah. Alright.
But that's what you see with your perception. Anything else you would like to do?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm shooting them through with arrows. I was hoping that the guys would stop doing what they're doing if they're full of arrows.
Blue, you see Kodo shoot 2 arrows. What would you like to do? They're 100 feet away.
Okay, so I'd have to move 100 feet to get to Ichabod?
Yep.
Okay. What I'm gonna...
I think you can get there this turn, so...
Yeah, I could, but yeah. What I'm actually gonna do is use a key point to do Step of the Wind, so I can dash as a bonus action.
Nice. And your move his speed is what?
40.
Okay, so you get 80 feet towards them.
Yeah. And is there any way I could get 2, maybe all 3 of them with my lightning breath without hitting Ichabod.
So Ichabod's on the ground, and I think yours goes in a line, right?
Yeah, it's a 30-foot line.
So you could position them to where you could get 3 of them. I just need to know which 3 you're going after.
The ones that are going after Ichabod.
Okay. And what's the range on your breath?
30 feet.
Yeah, you can get them. So describe to me you running swift as the wind and you preparing your lightning breath attack.
As I'm dashing down, I assume we're still kind of in the hills area.
Yep.
So as I'm dashing down this hill, seeing the party get ambushed, as I start to run towards them, I just mutter to myself, by the power of my ancestors, please let us stop them in time. And as I get within the 20 feet of them, I kind of stomp my foot, inhale a huge breath, and as the lightning starts to channel into my throat and I exhale, it just comes bolting out.
All right. So as quick as lightning, you run fast, like, and then breath. Dex save, I think it is, right?
Yep.
Or is
dex
it
save.
constant? Yep. And keep in mind, folks, this is changes made by Fizban's Treasury of Magic, so this breath weapon, it does some damage. Dex save, nat 20 plus 5, so they'll take half damage. So just roll damage, which I think is...
I rolled 15, so
15?
7.
All right. 7. All right.
Yep.
They all get a burst of lightning. They all get shocked a bit, and now they see a dragonborn there. Is that going to be your turn?
After I finish breathing on them, I just yell at them, let him go!
All right.
Do I
Ichabod.
recognize his voice?
Oh, yeah. You turn around and you see Blue.
Oh, look at that. It's Blue.
Ichabod, you are currently unconscious. So you don't know what's going on. So unfortunately, your turn is unfortunately not going to happen. We're go back to the top of the round. Axius, you are in the fog cloud engaging with this drow. He looks to be weak. What do you do?
I would like to rage.
Sure. How does your hellish rage look like?
I mean, the muscles start bulging. The spikes that you said were all over my arms and through most of my torso just grow extendedly. And my fiendish form just even worse.
Alright. You hulk up. What would you like to do as an action? Would you like to try to kill this drow? Alright. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot you were reckless, so it's fine.
19 to hit.
He will use his reaction to parry.
So does he take any damage or no?
Nope.
So I can attack. Dirty 20 to hit.
That will hit. You can only parry once.
Alright, that is... Fuck it. Let's do another divine smite.
Alright. You want to kill this dude.
Alright, so that's 12
Oof.
plus 2d8
Okay.
plus another 9 dark radiant damage.
Ooh. So that's a total of what, 21?
Yes.
He's looking like he's on his death's door. He's like gushing out blood and shit.
I think that is all I can do. I did.
Wish you had action surge, right? I'm just messing with it.
No, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna stay right there. Let's do this.
All right, Rico. There's 3 drow in front of you. There's 3 behind you tying up. Ichabod, what do you do?
I don't know the exact status of Ichabod, so I'm gonna bonus
He's
action.
unconscious
spare
and hogtied.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like at 0 hit points unconscious or
That's
just
fair.
poisoned unconscious. So
You
I'm gonna
don't
do bonus action spare the dying, just in case.
Sure.
And I will throw a firebolt at the guy who's taking the arrows that's tying up Ichabod.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to hit him in the face.
Alright, so it will be at disadvantage because it is a range attack and it is up close. So it would be at disadvantage.
Alright.
So take the lowest out of the two.
Yeah, 21.
He will use this reaction to parry, so he'll take half damage because that will be
Does that
just
work
hitting
on
his AC.
spells?
Yep. Any attack he could attempt to parry it.
That's
He's
crazy.
our Drow.
So he's
But he-
taking half damage?
He'll take half damage. He'll still take the hit. He just won't take as much damage.
26 points of fire?
Oh yeah. So half
Parry
that
that,
to 13. That's-
motherfucker!
You see his hand getting burnt a bit. So that would be this here. Yeah, this guy's looking pretty rough. This guy's looking he's on his last legs.
What's up, Blue?
All right.
Nice to see you.
Sup, Blue?
Let's kill these fuckers.
Nice to see you again.
I'm
Cameron's
gonna
turn.
kind of
Oh,
wake...
go ahead. My
I
apologies.
guess I can't, as a bonus action, I can't wake
Nope.
up Ichabod.
You cast a spare the dying, so
Yeah, but like use an
You
item, I
touch him.
can't just like push him with my foot.
No.
Okay.
All right. So it's Amren's go. She sees the situation. Let me just look up her spells real quick for anything else. She says, "Axius, are you around?" She yells out,
Yes, I'm in the fog.
"Okay." She will
You can
then
let the fog
go
go
up.
if you need to. He's gonna die.
All right. She will confirm that you are around. She will go up to one of the ones attacking, and she will make. How many attacks does she get? Well, she's gonna pull out her dagger, so she'll get regular attack with short sword. That drow will use parry, so that one will miss. Dagger, bonus action. Natural one. So, Amren, per se, is not like a fully developed fighter, and drow are kind of elite fighters. So, like, the drow easily parries the first attack, and as she tries to go the dagger attack, the drow steps back with this nice footwork. As she's trying to do 2 attacks but fails to do so. Let me see what she could do bonus action wise before pass her up. Bonus action. Well, she used 2 weapon finding. My apologies. Alright, it's gonna be her turn. Anea will pull out her bow and will shoot at the one. Let's see here. What is this, Mike, that you're sending me? Use your extra expenditure. That's for martial fighting. This is a drow. It's giving these different stats, so it's different. Let me see here. Anea will pull out her short bow and will attempt to fire at. She'll fire at one of the ones that barely took damage. There's hog tying Ichabod, so she'll make an attack roll. Even though rolling off of Amren's character sheet, it's just this +2. Misses. So she's trying to shoot a bow and arrow while on the horse. So obviously she's not that quite equipped. So she misses her shot. Unfortunate. So that'll be her turn, and she's gonna basically keep her distance with the drow, try to circle around them. Drows go. The drow in front of you, Axius, will say something in Elvish that you can't understand.
Can I try
Then-
to do an insight check to see like his demeanor when he says it? Like, can I tell like if he's pleading for his life? Can I tell that look on his face?
You could tell that he's pissed and that he's trying to do like a last attempt kind of deal. He will attack you. He will. Let me just read this. Let's make sure I get it right. Okay. What I'm gonna have you do is to make a dexterity saving throw.
Would it be an effect that I can see? Because I get advantage on those.
Yes, you're definitely seeing this.
Okay.
As he's trying to, as he's doing an incantation of.
Natural 20.
Yeah, he tries to pull fairy fire off in front of you, but fails to do so. And he's kind of has this look of like, oh shit, kind of moment.
Fairy fire!
The other Dro, the one that's been taking hits says something in Elvish that you can't understand. And well, you're far away, so this is like close quarters. So, Ichabod, you hear like muffled in Elvish saying, "Take him," and then to altar, and then two of the Drow behind Ichabod will pick him up, and they will carry him over to what seems like to be a nearby church. They'll spend their entire movement and their entire turn carrying Ichabod. You turn around, Rico, and you're like, oh shit, but there's a Drow right there, and he's gonna make an attack again.
Do we get attacks of opportunity as I walk away?
Based on positioning, no. They were behind Ichabod, but not in front.
Okay.
So this one will make an attack. Boom. Boom. That +7 will definitely hit. You take 10 piercing damage and 5 poison, but I think you have armor 2, if I recall, right?
Yeah.
So you'll take 2 poison damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage. I love this music, by the way. You get slashed. Not only do you feel like the actual slashing affect you, but then you're like, oh, then you go down unconscious. As you do, this Drow is just gonna pick you up and will drag you, but will waste half of it just trying to drag you, because he's pretty weak at this point. This is one that's just been getting hit over and over again. One of the Drow is gonna circle around. The one furthest away from Amarin is going to go to you, Blue, and will attempt to attack you. Dirty 20 will hit. You take 10 piercing, and I need you to make. You take 10 piercing, 5 poison. Are you dead?
No, that short
Okay,
rest, I
Grant.
managed to heal all the way up.
Alright, cool beans. Make a con save.
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage. So you take the lowest.
Never
of the
mind.
two. Yep, natural one. Slash! You just drop down immediately.
Man,
This Drow then says a command to the second one furthest away from Amron. That Drow circles around you. The Drow that was attacking you, you see Rico, him tying up Blue, and then you see the other two. You see him and the other Drow just carry him and just take him to the same direction that Ichabod is going. That being said, the one attacking Amron's gonna make an attack against her. Roll that +7, which will hit. And wait, let me just check her AC. Switching tabs. Yep, that'll hit her AC. Yep. She'll take 10 and then 5, so 15 total. She must make a Constitution save with disadvantage. Fun fact: if you right-click it and hit, you could attempt to either roll with disadvantage or not. So, yeah, with disadvantage to 12, she drops down. She loses concentration on Fog Cloud. Actually, it's all of a sudden the fog around you just around. You see the fog being carried out towards the church, and then you see Blue that's like also being carried, and then you see Amber just go down in one swipe.
How close
And
is
then
that?
this she is about 40 feet away.
Okay.
So, and then you see the drow just using a bonus action to tie her up, and then he picks her up, and then use half her movement to like carry her, but she's still relatively close, still 40 feet. You hear the drow say in terrible common, "They'd be great sacrifices for the one above all." As he kind of chuckles, and he's like chuckling and coughing up blood. That's the end of Dro's turn. Kodo, you see, well, what I've described, but you're 100 feet away, so you see them clearly being carried away to the church.
I'm gonna finish off Pincushion first, and then start taking pop shots at those guys.
Sure. Make an attack roll on Pincushion, as we nicknamed him now.
That's a nat 20. He's dead.
Yep. How do you like to kill him?
Straight through the head as he's talking bullshit.
All right.
Yeah, straight through the.
Axius.
Straight through the. Like through the throat,
Yeah.
out the back.
Yep.
And I'm moving on to the next guy.
As he finishes saying this, Axius, he says, all of a sudden you just see Arrow go, "Stop!" And you just see Arrow go straight through, and he just back dead with an arrow sticking in his mouth through his head.
Now, those guys that got Ichabod.
So there's two carrying Ichabod, and there's two carrying, well, there's one dragging Rico, excuse me, and there's two carrying Blue. Actually, no, there's one carrying Blue. The one that is dragging Rico is the one that's hurt. The rest have barely got hit.
Can I make a more difficult roll to try to trip up one of the guys that is carrying Ichabod?
Alright, so
This guy
I
aiming
would...
for his knee.
Okay, so go ahead and make this attack. However, it would be at disadvantage because it's getting away from you.
Disadvantage, it's a 19 to hit.
Yep, that hits. So, now I need you to roll a d20 for me, just to confirm what your intention will do. Like, it'll hit still, but we'll see if it'll trip or not because of range.
I used to be an adventurer like
Just
you.
a d20.
God damn it. Alright,
Just a
so...
d20, nothing added to it.
Just a d20, because I'm using that instead of percentile. Because, like, you're shooting at a far distance.
I mean...
So you hit him, but not your intention, no. He takes an arrow to the thigh, but he's still relatively standing, carrying Ichabod. So go ahead and roll damage for him.
Doesn't matter. What I was trying to do did not work.
Well, you hit him, so roll damage for me. That's the least I will give you, is that it will hit.
11.
Alright, you hit him. What do you do?
That's it. That's all I can do.
Okay. Blue, you're unconscious and being carried. You feel like, yeah, you're just dreaming, and like, you're hearing instances of drow talk, but you don't understand what they're saying. Same thing with you, Ichabod. You're just like unconscious, but you hear saying, "These will make great sacrifices too," and then that's all you hear as you're like are passed out, basically. Top of the round, Axius's turn. You see your wife go down and is being tied up 40 feet away. What do you? But you see Rico being dragged also. What would you like to do? Oh, you're frozen out. Oh no.
I'm not frozen now. You said they're 40 feet away from me?
The one that is dragging your wife is 40 feet away. The one that dragged 60 feet away. And then the one that Blue has in their hand. Oh no, Bill. I don't know. Oh no, Bill froze out. The ones carrying Ichabod are closer to the church, so they're far away. The ones carrying Blue are like 30 feet away from them, and then from there, from Rico, is about 60 feet away, and then the one from Rico is like 10 feet away. So you could get to the one by Rico and Amron, but not the ones over by Blue and Ichabod, unless you want to like dash all the way over there. But
You should probably save the halfling, I think.
I'm going to...
Bob is coming back, yo.
I want to move 30 feet towards Amarin, and then pull out my dagger to pretty much yank that drow towards me.
Alright. What? Yank what?
The drow towards me.
Okay. So you pull it out, make an attack roll.
Pull it out, make an attack roll. Pull it out, make an attack roll. Pull it out.
Oh my god, I'm hearing echoes.
Oh my god.
Holy
8
shit.
doesn't hit.
I'm gonna try again.
The drow sees it and just deflects it and chuckles.
I'm gonna. He's 10 feet away from me, isn't he?
He's 30 feet. He's 40 feet away, excuse me.
I moved 30 feet towards him, so he's 10 feet from me.
Oh, you moved towards him and trying to stab him?
Yes.
Yeah, still missed. He deflects it.
My halberd's 10 feet, so recklessly attack with my halberd then.
Alright, you swap to your halberd. Attack roll with halberd.
Fuck, even 16 to hit.
He blocks it. He blocks your halberd. This drow seems to be a little bit more better than the leader, surprisingly.
That's my turn for now.
Alright. Rico, you're falling asleep, but you get the feeling you're being dragged. And you hear some drow language, but you don't understand it. So that's your turn. Amryn, she's KO'd. So, yeah, there's that. Anea's turn. She says, Axios, what do I do? Do I catch up with Blue and Ichabod, or do you need help?
Shoot for the one has Rico.
Alright. She will switch to her pike that you gave her, get into 10-foot radius, and will stab the drow that you said. Yes, you raised her hand there, Justin.
Do I hear Axios tell her to shoot for Rico?
Are you saying this out loud? Like yelling? Axios or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm enraged,
definitely.
so yeah, that's how I'm just shouting.
Yeah, for sure. You hear him at 100 feet away. Alright, she'll make an attack roll with the pike as she is
Do I
keeping
wake
distance.
anybody up as I scream?
No.
And just to
Yeah,
clarify,
she will-
that was not an order to shoot Rico. I don't want you to
Nope.
take that away from this.
She's trying to go after the one against Rico. She's keeping her distance. She's on a horse, so she's trying to tackle combat, but she's pike you gave her. But unfortunately, the drow easily ducks it. And she is looking to gallop around and will try to attack against her. Drow's turn. The drow will pull that Anea was attacking, will pull out his blowgun and will try to attack Anea with it. Just roll for her, for the drow. What's the bonus? Oh, it was almost a crit. Alright, let me just look up stats for the blowgun. Which is a +5. Which is a 13. Which doesn't hit Anea. She barely misses. And then he's like, huh. He doesn't pay much attention as he continues to... At this point, he picks up Rico and is beginning to just carry him. Like he's just a sack of potatoes. Next, the one that you're attacking is going to attack you. So, it's surprising that these regular drow are doing better than the leader. Attack roll against Axios with advantage because he's reckless. It's a 17 to hit, but we're going to fish with a crit here. 18 to hit.
18's my armor class.
Yep, so you'll take half damage. So you'll
Raging, so it's a
take...
quarter.
So take half. So you'll take, we'll say, 2 points of piercing, 5 points of poison, but you're probably wearing armor, I believe, right?
No, I'm not.
Alright, so you take all full poison damage. I need you to make a Constitution save with disadvantage.
So that's 7 points.
Yep.
Disadvantage. 21.
You feel the poison yet again, but at this point, like, you feel it so much that, like, you're beginning to slowly grow a resistance to it. Now you don't roll with disadvantage. Alright. This one, two carrying blue. So at this point, the ones that are carrying blue and Ichabod have left combat and are basically go into this church, and the door is shut on the set church. We will then go to Koto. Would you like to do anything? At this point, you see 4 drow carrying 2 bodies into a church that is far away from your reach and closing doors.
Oh, I heard Axius about shooting Rico, so I'm gonna just empty my whole quiver into Rico.
What the heck?
I get a plus 50 to hit since I'm using my quiver.
All right, what are you actually doing?
Yeah, I'm shooting the guy that pulled out the stopped, tried to use a blowgun, then picked up Rico and kept on moving. I'm gonna shoot that guy.
Yep. All right.
Be a 19 to hit.
That will. Well, he's not seeing it, so that will hit him.
9 points of damage.
Ah! He takes the arrow to the leg, and he drops Rico. Rico, you wake up, hog-tied, with arms and legs tied behind you, and you see a drow just take an arrow to the knee. Would you like to? What else would you like to do, Koto?
NC shot to the same
All
guy.
right. All right.
20 to hit.
That will. We'll say. So, seeing that he has an arrow in his leg, he's kind of looking around to see where it came from. And as your second arrow hits, he will use his reaction to parry that shot, which will miss. What else would you like to do, Koto?
That's all I got.
All right. Blue, you are unconscious. And you hear more Elvish talk. And you hear some kind of ceremony is about to begin, just from the hearing of, like, you knowing your clerical things and what have you. Ichabod, you hear similar stuff. Like, since you know Elvish, they say, we have 2 sacrifices and would make good for. That's all you hear as you're slowly coming up to consciousness. Axius, you're up. There's a drow in front of you trying to carry Aaron. He has taken little to no damage. What would you like to do?
How far is Rico from me?
He is at this point, I would say. We'll say give or take 40 to 50. We'll say 45 feet.
And Aenea's closer to him?
Aenea's keeping her distance with her pike, keeping 10 feet away. But you see he has an arrow in his leg.
That's fine. I'm gonna scream at Aenea, cut Rico loose! And then I'm gonna recklessly attack this drone in front of me.
Alright, attack roll.
When was I tied up? I don't remember that.
When you were unconscious.
I thought I was just picked up without being tied, but...
16?
16 will not hit.
Alright, I'm gonna do it one more time.
He blocks your attack easily.
What the hell? 14 to hit.
14 will not hit. He blocks both of your attacks, and he kind of chuckles again.
I'm gonna take an opportunity attack, but I'm gonna move 30 feet towards the church.
Alright. Opportunity attack from the Drow. That will fucking definitely hit. So you'll take... Your rage is crazy. So you'll take 5. So you'll take 5 points of piercing, that's already half, and then 5 points of poison. And I need you to make a con save without disadvantage, because you've grown a resistance to it at this point.
13?
Nope. You turn around to run face to the church, but as he slashes your back, you fall dead on your face.
No.
That's your turn. Rico, you're hogtied. There's very few things you can do. What would you like to do?
I think I know the answer to this question, but there's a spell I want to do that has somatic components.
Sure.
And I'm guessing I can't wriggle out a spell.
What are you trying to do?
Toll the Dead.
Okay.
But
I
it
would
takes
like for
somatic
you.
components, so.
I would like for you to
Point
make.
a finger.
I like you to make
Point my tongue.
I would like you to make a sleight of hand check with disadvantage because you're hog type.
All right.
To see if you could even attempt to cast a spell.
15.
15. Let me just check the passive perception of a drow. Let me just exit out this map. We won't need this. Passive perception of a drow. Where the fuck is that? Yeah, he doesn't see you cast a spell, so the spell goes off.
Right. I'd like him to make a wisdom save.
Alright. Wisdom save for the drow. He gets a +4 to this.
Oof.
Let me just exit out Aaron's character sheet. He gets +4 to this. He fails. He is losing some hit points, so go ahead and roll a d12.
Awesome.
At his level, it's 2d12, isn't it?
Yep.
2d12 and 1d8. 16
'Cause of his
points
tattoo.
of necrotic.
Yeah, he hears bells and wheels. He goes, you see blood coming out from his ears. He looks pretty disoriented and he looks pretty hurt.
I'm gonna
You're
chuckle
hog
at him and
type,
go, "Ding dong, motherfucker!"
It's Aaron's go, but she's unconscious. It's Anea's go, and she's on the horse. She's gonna try to make an attack roll against a drow that is barely moving at this point. Oh, she almost critted, but she rolled a nat 1. She tries to attack with her pike, but she falls off her. She falls off her horse, but she gets up and keeping her distance with the drow. The horse is kind of running around and shit, aimlessly. Because it is a regular horse and not a war horse. It's the drow's turn. He will kick you. He will attack you, Rico, with advantage. He says, "You stay quiet." Oh, that's 2d20s, my apologies. So we'll say 13 plus 7, which is a dirty 20, but fish for the crit. Yeah. So dirty 20 will hit you. You take 10 piercing. 5 poison. Are you down?
No, I'm not.
Con save with disadvantage.
$16.
Yeah. You are starting to resist the effects of the poison that has been coursing through your veins. The drow will then drag you, and as you resist, he will move at half speed. And they will attempt to make an attack of opportunity against that drow. Natural 20 against her.
I love the image of somebody dragging this halfling, and he's like making their life difficult just by wriggling.
And then
That's
Anea
40
with a natural 20 crits. So it's max damage plus a die roll with the pike, so it's... I'm just reading this real quick. Alright, so it's a full D10, so it's 12 because it's a D10. 12 plus this D10 roll, plus 9. So she does a grand total of 21 damage. As she stabs the drow right through the chest and goes, oh! Ugh. And then as she pulls out the pike, the drow just collapses right nearby you. As you're still wiggling around. Alright. Next, her first official kill. Good job for Anea. The drow in front of you actually has to make an attack again. With advantage. So let me just roll this 20. That's a critical hit. So, a short sword for the drow deals 1d6 plus 4. Excuse me, I read that wrong. That's for the fucking something else. That's for... Ah, I see. Alright, so the grand total is It's a d6, so let me add this d6 in the meantime. So it's 14 plus 5, which ain't much, really. So 19 points of piercing, half that to 9. And for the poison, it's 3. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just reading this. There's a lot of words here.
Down. Probably down. Anyway.
Oh, you're down? Okay. Don't even.
No,
Oh, yeah,
probably
you're
will be
unconscious,
down.
too. Yep, he's just gonna stab you for good measure. So that's one. So you are at risk of death. He will then tie you up and will start to drag you.
No, the poison damage would take me down. I'll just.
Okay.
If you're rolling 3d8s, yeah, then.
Well, you're down regardless, though, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So you're down. He stabs you for good measure to make sure you're dead. And then he will hog tie you and will attempt to drag you. And but he's moving at half speed because of it.
Wait, he's carrying me and Amron at the same time?
No, he's just no. So Anea sees, well, we'll say like story-wise because you don't know, sees you being dragged, other than Amron, because like a drow can't obviously carry both of you. Next, Kodo, you're up. What would you like to do? You see what seems like to be a large, weird devil creature just getting stabbed in the back, being hogtied and being dragged, and you see your Amron like just being left there. What do you do?
Okay. The leader drow was the one that's picked up.
Yeah, he's
Axius
fucking
and
dead. Yeah, he's fucking dead. This is just some.
The leader is dead.
Yes, he's been dead. This is the other
Okay.
drow.
I'm shooting that guy that is trying to carry Axius.
Okay.
$21.
21 will hit. He doesn't see you, so this will hit. He will not. He cannot use his parry yet.
12 points of damage.
Okay. He takes an arrow to the gut. He goes, ah. All right.
Kensei shot.
Kensai shot.
20.
He will parry this, and it will miss.
If he's parrying, is there a chance that he drops the body?
Yeah, he's dropped Axius to parry at this point.
That's it. I'm done.
All right. Blue and Ichabod. As you two are waking up, fully conscious, you are tied up to some kind of altar, and you see this, and you're in this church, and it's a church full of drow. And when you look to your left and right, you see that your shit is gone, and on top of that, you are being chained to this altar next to Blue, and it's basically as if it was an abandoned church covered in spider webs. There's purple flame all around, and on top of that, you see like clearly this back part of the church being completely blown out of sorts, and you just see this drow priestess woman, and she says things in Elvish. Blue, you don't know what the fuck she's saying, but Ichabod, you clearly hear saying a prayer, and you hear her say, "Please, great one at the lake, please accept this half-breed and this dragon person as sacrifices to please you and to keep this church of ours and this land of ours free from those undead things." And as she says her prayer, the thing you see, Ichabod, is that you see a tentacle coming out of the lake. And we'll call the session off here. I just see Justin say, fuck.
Just right quick, kind of before we sign off, could I just use a lightning breath just for the hell of it on the priestess?
Sure, I'll allow that. Dex save.
And I'll also do the channel divinity for max damage, so if she saves, it's only 10 points.
She saves.
Okay, so 10 points lightning damage.
Right, I'm gonna make a note of that. Alright. you breathe your lightning breath against her, and she gets electrocuted. She says, "Please take this dragon person first, for he truly wishes to be devoured."
Sure.
And
Take the infected first. I'm sure your god would love that. Or
You
she
just
might
see-
turn against you and rip you apart.
you see another tentacle pop up, and then you see what seems like to be a giant red eyeball coming out of the lake, and we'll end the session with that.
Alright.
All right, y'all. So we'll continue this next week and see what happens as the party reforms. We'll have it to Ichabod and Blue. Rico is still tied up. Aneta scored her kill, and Axios and Amron are down. Koto's just seeing all this from a bird's eye view. So until then, guys, if you're interested in this campaign, you can join by joining the Pocket Dimension Discord, a great D&D community to join, not just but for any other games too, like Pathfinder and Call of Cthulhu. And like to thank Lady K Does Art for doing obviously the logo and the background they're seeing. So until then, guys, we'll continue this combat next week. Till then, take care, y'all.
Been fun knowing you guys.
Mhm.